I was 16 when I found Mom's old diary under her bed. The words inside made my stomach twist. I told her he died in a car crash. Easier than the truth. My dad wasn't dead. Mom lied. My whole life was built on that lie, and now I needed answers. Before we start, let us know in the comments section where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. I was cleaning Mom's room, looking for spare change, when I found it, a dusty, leather diary shoved under her bed. I flipped it open, expecting boring stuff like grocery lists. Instead, I saw her handwriting, shaky and rushed. I can't tell Sarah the truth about Tom. A car crash is simpler. My heart pounded. Dad didn't die in an accident. I sat on the floor, staring at the page, my hands trembling. Mom was at work, so I had time to read more. The diary said Dad left when I was 3, not because he was dead, but because he couldn't handle it. Handle what? I felt betrayed, like my whole life was a fake story. I needed to know why Mom lied and where Dad was now. That night, I waited for Mom to get home. My stomach churned as I clutched the diary. When she walked in, tired from her diner shift, I held it up. "Why'd you lie about Dad?" Her face went pale. She tried to grab the diary, but I stepped back. "Sarah, you don't understand," she said, her voice shaky. She sat on the couch, head in her hands. "It was easier to say he died," she whispered. "He left us, Sarah. He wasn't a good man." I didn't believe her. Her eyes darted away, like she was hiding more. I stormed to my room, slamming the door, determined to find Dad myself. In my room, I tore through old boxes, looking for anything about Dad. I found a faded photo of him, tall, with my brown eyes, smiling at baby me. My chest tightened. Why'd he leave? I checked Mom's laptop, guessing her password, my birthday. An old email from Tom Harper popped up, dated 10 years ago. The email was short, "I'm sorry, Linda. I'm in Chicago now." Chicago. That's where he was. I scribbled the address from the email. Mom knocked, but I ignored her. I wasn't ready to talk. I had a plan, find Dad and get the truth that I couldn't just sit there. Chicago was far, but I had some birthday cash saved, enough for a bus ticket. I checked the bus schedule online. There was one leaving tomorrow night. My heart raced. Was I really doing this? I packed a small bag, clothes, the photo, the diary. Mom was asleep when I snuck out to buy the ticket. The station was cold. The ticket guy barely looked at me. I felt scared but alive. I was finally doing something for myself, not living Mom's lie. I just hoped Dad would want to see me. The bus smelled like old coffee and sweat. I sat by the window, watching the city fade into dark fields. The photo of Dad was in my pocket, creased from me holding it. What if he didn't want me? The thought made my stomach hurt, but I couldn't turn back now. A lady next to me kept snoring, her head bobbing. I pulled out the diary again, reading Mom's words. Tom was trouble. Drugs, fights. Was that true? I didn't know what to believe anymore. The bus rumbled on, taking me closer to answers, or maybe more lies. Chicago was huge, loud, and cold. I stepped off the bus, gripping my bag. The address from the email was a diner called Moe's. I took a cab, my hands sweaty. The diner was run down, with flickering neon lights. I walked in, scanning for Dad. No one looked like him. A waitress with a kind smile asked if I was okay. I showed her the photo. Tom Harper. "Haven't seen him in years," she said. My heart sank. I sat in a booth, ordering coffee to stall. I wasn't giving up yet. Someone here had to know something. The waitress, Jenny, sat with me during her break. I told her I was looking for my dad, Tom. Her eyes softened. "He worked here a while back. Rough guy, but sweet sometimes." She said he'd moved to a shelter nearby after losing his job. My chest tightened. A shelter? Jenny gave me the shelter's address and a free burger. "Be careful, kid," she said. I nodded, but my mind was racing. Was Dad homeless? I left the diner, the city buzzing around me. I had to find him, no matter what. The shelter was a grey building with cracked windows. I hesitated at the door, my heart pounding. Inside, it smelled like bleach and soup. A man at the desk asked who I was looking for. Tom Harper, I said, showing the photo. He frowned. He's here sometimes. I waited in a stiff chair, watching people shuffle in and out. Then I saw him, older, thinner, but it was Dad. My throat closed up. He didn't see me yet. I wanted to run to him, but my legs felt glued. What do you say to a dad you thought was dead? I walked up to him, my hands shaking. Tom Harper, I said. He turned, his eyes tired but sharp. Who're you? He asked. I held up the photo. I'm Sarah. Your daughter. His face froze, then softened. Sarah, he whispered, like he couldn't believe it that we sat at a table in the shelter's cafeteria. He looked rough, grey stubble, worn clothes. I thought you were better off without me, he said. Your mom, she wanted me gone. My head spun. Was Mom the bad guy? I needed more than his side of the story. Dad sipped weak coffee, his hands shaky. I wasn't a good dad, he said. I was into bad stuff, drugs, gambling. Your mom kicked me out to protect you. My stomach twisted. So Mom wasn't lying about that part? But why say he was dead? He said he tried to get clean, but it was hard. I wrote you letters, he said. She sent them back. I didn't know who to believe. I felt angry at both of them. Can I see you again? I asked. He nodded, eyes wet. I wasn't sure I trusted him yet. Dad gave me a showbox from his locker. Inside were letters, yellowed and unopened, addressed to me. I took them to a park nearby, sitting on a bench. The first one said, Sarah, I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm trying to be better. My eyes stung. Each letter was the same, apologies, promises. Some had drawings of me as a kid. He'd cared, but Mom hid it. I felt torn. Was she protecting me or controlling me? I needed to talk to her, but first, I wanted more time with Dad. I found a cheap motel to crash in. I couldn't go home yet, I needed more answers. Dad agreed to meet me tomorrow at the diner. My phone buzzed with texts from Mom. Where are you? I'm worried. I ignored them. She didn't get to control this. That night, I lay on the stiff motel bed, reading more letters. Dad's words felt real, but what if he was lying now? I barely slept, my mind racing. I wasn't a kid anymore. I'd figure out the truth, no matter how messy it was. At the diner, Dad looked cleaner, like he'd tried to fix himself up. I'm staying at the shelter, getting help, he said. I wanted to believe him. He asked about my life, school, friends. I told him a little, but it felt weird. He was a stranger. He showed me a photo of us from when I was a baby. I carried this everywhere, he said. My throat tightened. I wanted to hug him, but I held back. Why didn't you fight to see me? I asked. He looked down. I was ashamed. I couldn't avoid Mom forever. I called her from the motel, my hands sweaty. Sarah, where are you? She yelled. I told her I was in Chicago, with Dad. She went quiet, then started crying. He's not safe, Sarah. Come home. I got mad. You lied about him dying. Why? She said she was scared he'd hurt me, that he was dangerous. But Dad didn't seem dangerous now. I hung up, confused. Was Mom lying again, or was Dad hiding something? I needed more time. I went back to the shelter to ask Dad more questions. He was helping serve lunch, looking focused. Why'd you really leave? I asked. He sighed. Your mom and I fought a lot. I was using drugs. She gave me an ultimatum, leave or lose you both. He said he chose to leave to keep me safe. But something felt off. His story was too neat. I asked about the drugs. I'm clean now, he said, but his eyes darted away. I wanted to trust him, but I wasn't sure I could. Jenny, the waitress, saw me at the diner again. You still looking for answers? She asked. I nodded. She mentioned a guy named Mike, Dad's old friend, who worked at a garage nearby. He might know more about Tom, she said. I found the garage, a greasy place with loud music. Mike was older, with tattoos and a limp. I showed him Dad's photo. Yeah, I knew Tom, he said. He got into some bad stuff, owed money to rough people. My stomach dropped. Was Dad still in trouble? Mike wiped his hands on a rag and sat with me outside the garage. Tom was a mess back then, he said. Drugs, debts, fights. He owed money to some guys who don't mess around. He said Dad disappeared one night, probably to avoid them. I asked if Dad was still in trouble. Mike shrugged. He's been quiet lately, but those kinds of debts don't just go away. I felt sick. Was I putting myself in danger by being here? I thanked Mike and left, my mind spinning. I met Dad at the park, the showbox of letters in my bag. Are you still in trouble? I asked, straight up. His face tightened. Who'd you talk to? I told him about Mike. He got mad, then quiet. That was a long time ago, he said. He swore he was clean now, working on himself. But I saw his hands shake. I want to be part of your life, Sarah, he said. I wanted that too, but I didn't trust him yet. I told him I needed time. He nodded, looking sad. I called Mom again, ready for answers. Why'd you hide his letters? I asked. She sighed. He was dangerous, Sarah. He owed money to bad people. I was scared they'd come for us. She said she lied about the crash to keep me safe, though I didn't know what to feel. She sounded honest, but she'd lied for years. I'm staying in Chicago a bit, I said. She begged me to come home, but I hung up. I needed to figure out who was telling the truth, Mom, Dad, or neither. Walking back to the motel, I noticed a guy following me. He was tall, with a scar on his cheek. My heart raced. I sped up, but he kept pace. At a crowded street, I ducked into a store. He didn't follow, but I saw him watching. I stayed in the store, pretending to shop, my hand shaking. Was he one of the bad people Mike mentioned? I texted Dad, asking if he was in trouble. He didn't reply right away. I felt trapped, unsure who to trust or where to go. Dad finally texted back, asking me to meet at the shelter. When I got there, he looked nervous. I owe some people money, he admitted. Not much, but they're not nice. My stomach dropped. The scarred guy, was he one of them? He said he was trying to pay them off, working odd jobs. I didn't want you in this mess, he said. I was mad but scared for him. I want to help, I said, but he shook his head. Go home, Sarah. It's not safe. I sat in the motel, staring at the letters. Dad was in trouble, but he was trying. Mom lied, but maybe to protect me. I felt stuck. Going home meant giving up on Dad. Staying meant risking danger. My phone buzzed. Mom again. I ignored it, but I decided to stay one more day. I'd talk to Dad again, see if he'd be honest. If he wasn't, I'd leave. I wasn't a kid anymore. I could make my own choices. But the scarred guy's face kept flashing in my mind. I met Dad at the diner. He looked worse, like he hadn't slept. I paid them off, he said. I'm free now. I wanted to believe him, but his eyes were shifty. No more lies, I said. He nodded, but I wasn't sure that I told him I was going home. Can we stay in touch? I asked. He smiled, sad but real. I'd like that. I gave him my number. As I left, I felt lighter but still confused. I'd found Dad, but not all the answers. The bus ride home was quiet. I stared at Dad's photo, my mind a mess. I'd learned a lot, but it wasn't simple. Dad wasn't a hero, but he wasn't a monster. Mom wasn't perfect, but she'd tried to keep me safe. I felt older. Somehow I texted Mom I was coming back. She didn't reply, but I knew she'd be waiting. I wasn't sure how we'd talk about this, but I'd make her listen. I wasn't the same kid who left. I'd found my own truth. Mom was at the bus station, her eyes red. She hugged me tight, and I let her. I'm sorry, she whispered. We sat in her car, and I told her everything. Dad, the letters, the scarred guy. She listened, crying sometimes. I lied to protect you, she said. I nodded, but I told her no more lies. She agreed. I didn't know if Dad would call, but I felt okay either way. I'd faced the truth, and that was enough for now. If you've ever witnessed such a drama, comment below.